Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Deku was raised by the League Part 1. If you guys enjoy this what if and want to see Part 2, comment down below and let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content and leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share this video with your friends and check out the description in my playlist. The author of the story 𝗵𝗃𝗄𝗏. So let's start the video. Contains swearing. Okay, what the F is that? Wait, no, who the F is that? Those were Shigaraki's thoughts right now. He was walking down the street to go buy some milk because Dabi decided that he was going to be a little SHT at 7 o'clock in the morning. He did not expect to see a little baby on the side of the street. You know, he could have just walked away and mind his own business, but he decided to get a closer look. When he got a closer look at the box Izuku was in, he saw what he looked like. He had a large bush of black hair with green at the tips, big green eyes and cute freckles dusting his whole face. You know, Shigaraki isn't one to use the word cute in a sentence, but if you saw this kid you had to admit, he did look really cute. Now for some reason this kid seemed to really attract Tomura. He decided to try and speak to the kid. Keyword try. He went closer and waved at the child and said, "Hey kid, what the hell are you doing in a box on the side of the street?" It seemed that he forgot that Izuku was a newborn. Not that there was any indication of him being a newborn, it was just that you could easily assume that. All that Izuku did was tilt his head to the side, making a sort of confused face while his bush-looking head hair followed his movements. Shigaraki was mad when he didn't respond and then mentally face-bombed when he realized something. He was AF newborn. Shigaraki quickly put 2 and 2 together and realized that the child was inside a box and seemed to not have any adults with him. Now when you meet him, he seemed like a person that would not care about anything but himself. On this particular day the streets were very cold and the child seemed to not have anything on except diapers. He could just leave and let this child freeze to death, but for some reason he seemed to get this feeling that he needed to protect this kid with his life. Shigaraki crouched down in front of the child, took his sweater off, took Izuku and wrapped him in it. He held him protectively close to his chest as if he was going to disappear and never come back. Tomura leaned down and pressed his chapped lips on his forehead, securing a soft kiss on it. Immediately Izuku curled further into his arms, seeking warmth in the arms of the blue-haired boy. Shigaraki quickly arrived at the bar holding a sleeping Izuku to his chest and holding a bag of cleaning supplies in his right hand, being careful not to hold it with all 5 fingers. When he got in, all eyes went to the small ball curled up on his chest. "Shigaraki, what is that thing on your chest?" asked Kurogiri, lifting his head up from the shot glass. He was cleaning to face the tall, pale boy holding protectively to a small bundle. "Tomura-kun, what is that?" asked Toga, quickly getting up from her seat on the stool, running over to the little Izuku wrapped protectively in his arms. When Toga got close enough to touch him, she reached her hand out. Tomura quickly pushed her hard and she fell on her butt on the floor. "Hey, why are you so protective of that thing?" she asked, now softly rubbing her bottom to ease the pain. He quickly looked at her and said, "Because I don't want any of you scaring the little guy, especially you Dabi with those stupid scars on your face." "Little guy? You got a son or something?" chapped lips. Quickly shot back Dabi after hearing the comment Tomura made on his face. "I found this kid in a box on the sidewalk. It was freezing, so I took him in. He is going to be taken care of by me from now on," said Shigaraki, gaining the attention of all for one who was secretly hearing from behind the screen. "Shigaraki, you can't take care of the child, plus, we don't have anything that will help take care of it," said Kurogiri while helping Himiko up from the floor. "If you really want to take care of them, then you need to figure out how you're going to get the supplies," added Kurogiri, walking back to behind the bar. "Nonsense, Kurogiri, you can just go to the mall, take a bunch of things and warp back here," said All for One after hearing what Kurogiri said about not being able to take care of Izuku. "Sensei!" exclaimed Tomura after hearing the voice of the Pillar of Evil. "Heh, you really think man-child over here can actually take care of another human being? He can hardly take care of himself," questioned Dabi, teasing the new father. Tomura was about to respond to Dabi when he felt shuffling on his chest. He looked down and was met with big sparkling eyes with a few gold specks. Tomura took Izuku in his arms and sat down on a stool. He looked down at the small child in his arms and started making funny faces, making the newborn giggle loudly. The newborn was laughing so hard his face turned slightly dark red, making him look like a strawberry with his green hair, red face and freckles that were dusted all over his face. Dabi looked at the faces Shigaraki was making. "You look so stupid, you know that, right, you edgy teen?" Tomura stopped making faces and commented back, "I don't know what you are talking about. You look way more edgy than me." Toga poked Tomura on the shoulder, gaining his attention. When he looked at her, she asked, "What's the little guy's name?" Tomura, after hearing that, he began to think. He eventually came to an agreement with himself and announced the name to the league, which were now looking at him after hearing Himiko's question. "Izuku Shigaraki," he said plainly, and continued to play with the newly named child. Himiko poked him again and asked, "Can I hold him, please, Tomura-kun?" Shigaraki seemed to think about it, then came to an agreement and told her she can. Dabi was in his dark corner as per usual. He watched as they happily played with the newborn and smiled slightly to himself. He was finally happy after more than 10 years. Days after Shigaraki adopted Izuku, so the group has been taking care of Izuku quite well, if you don't include that time that Toga wanted to stab the poor child because he quote-unquote looked yummy. An hour later they went to go get a bunch of things for the newborn like 𝗵𝗃𝗏 suggested. They managed to become a big topic on the news. Now when they went to the mall, Kurogiri said he will be waiting for them in the back. It was stupid enough that the only way they were recognized was because of that incident, not to mention someone managed to take a picture of them while they were running with a cart full of baby supplies. But that's not the point, okay? Right now Shigaraki is trying to calm the child because he started crying once he saw 𝗵𝗃𝗏. The symbol of evil decided to see the child in person because he only managed to see him through a screen, not to mention his cheeks looked soft and squishy. He visited, and that brings us to what is happening right now. Izuku won't stop uncontrollably crying, Dabi won't stop laughing at his reaction, and 𝗵𝗃𝗏 won't stop crying because Tomura isn't letting him hold the child. Shigaraki managed to get the child to stop crying, but that isn't stopping the fact that Izuku is literally looking at him with the most disgusted face. Now Kurogiri is there in a corner watching over them while reading a book and sipping tea. Yes, he has to watch over a man that is almost 200 years old. Shigaraki is now trying to convince Izuku to let the immortal man hold him. The child complied and is now being pampered by 𝗵𝗃𝗏. Izuku finally accepted 𝗵's love and started giggling when 𝗵 started tickling him. Toga quickly fished out her phone and took a picture. She has social media? She may be a villain, but she likes to keep up with all the new trends. The only reason she is popular there is that she is known to be the only villain to use social media like a normal person and not be creepy. Even though she likes to tell stories about her murders sometimes. She posted the picture. It consisted of 𝗵𝗃𝗏 tickling the small child while grinning a grin that didn't look scary, a little laughing baby, Tomura in the background looking like he was having a panic attack, Kurogiri reading a book, Himiko's face on the bottom corner, and Dabi in a ball in a dark corner. Toga uploaded the picture to Instagram with the caption, "𝗵𝗃𝗏𝗏 came to visit Izuku." It went viral. And Tomura got mad. You can pretend he sat her in a chair and had a calm and collected conversation with her. The UA staff were having a meeting about the picture that was posted by Toga. The league has a child on their hands. What if the child grows to become a villain like his caretakers? Asked the principal with a serious face, only seen when something is extremely serious. Which is rarely ever seen. The air was so thick you could cut it with a knife. There could be a possibility that the child is being held captive. Stated Aizawa while looking at the others with the same look that the principal has. But the child seems to be happy. He is giggling, Aizawa, said Yamada looking worried. A look was rarely seen since he appears to be always joyful. Namuri looked up from her hands which were tucked underneath the table, is followed by her gaze, and said, "He is right, Aizawa, we can't jump to conclusions." With a look close to the one Hisashi was making. Ectoplasm finally said something. He was spacing out. "Namuri is right, Aizawa. The child could be the actual child from someone in the group." The guy with the blue hair does look worried about the child in 𝗵𝗃𝗏's arms, Power Loader stated while taking a sip from the teacup offered to him. "Right, but let's not let our guard down. You are dismissed," stated Netsu. The staff quickly filed out after hearing his signal to leave. The League was looking at the little green bean sleeping on the couch. All the years 𝗵𝗃 has been alive, never once has he felt his heart squeeze like this. He thought he couldn't even feel the emotion of love. The only thing that could describe how cute this kid looked like was a little puppy curled up in a ball sleeping peacefully. It was adorable. Tomura thinks he can die happy now. He thanks whatever got up there for letting him see this little child. If this is a dream, please don't wake him up, that would be cruel. Dabi is looking like he just saw $1,000,000, and that look on his face is very creepy and doesn't belong there. Not that he minds, he literally feels blessed. Shigaraki got out of his daze and shooed everyone around Izuku and started carrying him to his room. You know Izuku does not have a room of his own, they can't give the child a room just yet. Maybe when he grows old enough he can get a room of his own, just not yet. Tomura placed the child down on his bed and started changing into his sleepwear. He turned around, grabbed the child, lay down on the bed with him curled up in his arms and fell asleep. So a few months have passed since the child was taken in by the League. He grew to say the least. Exactly 9 months have passed and he turned out to be more adorable than he was when they took him in. His hair grew and the green at the tips is a lot more noticeable than before. His eyes are a bit bigger and they are brighter, the gold in them is more noticeable now. His freckles are darker and more of them appeared on his skin. He was appealing, to say the least. Right now they are trying to get Izuku to walk since he already learned how to crawl. Come to Daddy Izu. No. Come to Auntie Toga Izuku. Come here you adorable piece of Dabi, please do not call Izuku a piece of. Guess how that is going. Izuku slowly started to get up. He first put his little arms on the floor, then put his legs so that they are balancing. Toga got her phone out and Kurogiri got the camera. Yes, now walk over to me Izuku. Walk over to me Izu. No, you piece of 𝗧𝗵𝗲 not to Tomura, to me. Izuku got up, looked around then started walking over to Shigaraki. He was crying with happiness. Oh my god, yes Izu you make daddy proud. That sounded so bad Tomura. Shut up Dabi, look how cute he looks walking over to his daddy. Izuku finally made it all the way to Tomura and waddled to his lap. Shigaraki quickly put his head down, put kisses all over his face and held him tight. Shigaraki, you're decaying his clothes. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry Izuku was a mistake. Izuku looked up and smiled at him, shutting him up. I is okay daddy. Everyone snapped their attention to the small child after hearing him talk. Oh my gosh, Izuku say to dash. No don't say Toga says Dabi, date. Izuku say Kuro if you say it I will give you a treat. Izuku started giggling and started reaching for Tomura's hand. No, don't grab it you'll die. Shigaraki please don't phrase it like that. Izuku if you grab it you'll get a very big boo-boo. After hearing that he stopped reaching for his hand, Toga ran over to Izuku and picked him up twirling him in the air. He giggled loudly sticking his tongue out and making airplane noises. Dabi got up from the floor and walked over to Toga twirling Izuku. He picked up Izuku from her grasp, put him down a floor and started tickling him on the sides. 𝗵𝗃 came on the television placed in the middle of the room. He was about to say something when he realized that they all looked happy. Even Dabi, which is rare. He coughed and immediately they all looked at him, awaiting their MSDR's words. You all look happy, what happened? Izu-chan learned how to walk. He also said his first words. 𝗵𝗃's eyes lit up instantly when he heard that. He got closer to the screen, so much closer his nose was literally smashed on the screen. Quite disturbing. He zoomed out of view from the television screen and suddenly appeared in front of them, startling the small group. Where is he? They all got startled and looked at him with eyes so wide they looked like pinpricks. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 is over 𝗧𝗪-sensei, said Shigaraki pointing over to Dabi, which stopped tickling Izuku. Give me the child. Dabi quickly obliged and gave him the child. 𝗵𝗃 started praising Izuku, making him smile proudly. Right now Tomura is bathing Izuku because when they ate he made a huge mess. He insisted that he wanted to share his food with Toga and wouldn't stop whining when Kurogiri said no. 𝗵𝗃 told Kurogiri to spoil him. He eventually said yes. It was almost time for Izuku's bedtime, so he is trying to clean off all the food that got on him to put him to sleep. Toga could be doing this right now, but she fled off before Tomura could even ask her to. He managed to clean him off and right now is trying to dress him to send him off to bed. He doesn't want to cooperate. Eventually, Tomura managed to get Izuku into a small kitty onesie. Do I even need to say it? Tomura then got dressed into clothes of his own, then got Izuku, wrapped himself and Izuku into a blanket and fell asleep. Right now Toga is at the mall with Izuku because she wanted to go on a shopping spree and spend time with Izuku. Mostly shopping spree though. Kurogiri kept on insisting that she didn't have to spend her money, but she said, "Today is payday." Kuro-kun. Right now Toga is pushing Izuku around the mall going from store to store. She currently has a cart full of bags. She may look frail and skinny, but she is actually really strong. She is pushing the stroller with one arm and the cart with the other. While she was walking around she came across a store called Infantland, creative name. I know. She quickly went inside the store and picked out a bunch of stuff, some necessary, some not. She literally got a wipe warmer. While she was walking down the aisles she came around the hero section. She looked around the aisle and realized it was the biggest one in the whole store. While she was walking and looking around in disgust she found the 𝗷𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵 section. There was literally a whole bunch of people in that area picking out things with big smiles. She wanted to puke. To seem normal, she made herself pick out an 𝗷𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵 onesie and a beanie. One of the customers came up to her and started a conversation. "Aren't these cute? I'm sure your little one will be happy when he wears them. They look disgusting. 𝗷𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵 doesn't deserve to have anything related to himself on baby clothes, on anything." The woman looked at her with a weirded out the face and walked away. When she got home she dropped a bunch of bags on the floor and picked Izuku up from the stroller, placing him on the floor. "Jesus Toga, you bought the whole mall. Shut up Dabi, help me." Shigaraki looked at the bags then spotted the Infantland one. He opened it. He picked up the 𝗷𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵 things. "Toga, why did you buy these disgusting pieces of clothing?" Dabi looked at Tomura then smirked when he saw him holding the 𝗷𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵 clothes. Is Tomura mad Toga bought 𝗷𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵 clothes? Shut up. I wanted to at least seem normal. I walked in the hero aisle. What if I didn't buy anything when I got out? Toga held up an Izuku dressed up as 𝗷𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵. They burned the clothes. The one thing Shigaraki hates other than 𝗷𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵 is the league making Izuku do things he's not supposed to do. Take the time that Dabi bribed Izuku to scream at Shigaraki and say "I hate you." Right now Izuku is 3 years old. They can't even believe they could take care of a child for that long without going insane. Well, when Halloween came up they dressed up the poor child to look like his daddy. People were asking themselves how their parents could let their child dress up like that. They aren't normal people anyways, so they shouldn't mind. The only reason they gave Izuku candy was that he's cute. They gave him the whole bowl. The other kids were crying. Izuku met this kid with black hair and a weird mouth. He insulted him so hard the kid started bawling his eyes out. The league was trying not to laugh. Shigaraki is trying to tell himself to not punish Izuku. It's not his fault he's misbehaving, it's the league's. The other day 𝗷𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵 gave Izuku an 𝗵𝗃𝗶𝗀𝗵 because he said he was a crybaby. The league literally had to pull 𝗷𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵 off the child so that he doesn't kill him. Izuku was hospitalized for 2 weeks. When 𝗷𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵 visited he hugged him and cried. That just proved Shigaraki's point. Shigaraki would list everything, but the child has done far too much that if you were told you would go insane. So just one more thing. The child is a smartass. That may sound good, and it is, but he used his brain for a ridiculous reason. Izuku was playing in the bar and just so happened to overhear a meeting they were having. "Are the names ready?" "Shigaraki, how many times do I have to say yes?" "Just making sure." "What parts are we going to attack in?" 𝗎𝗪𝗀𝗀 said it doesn't matter, you just need to cause so much destruction that it makes it into history. History but we will most likely end up on the news for a day. But Izuku, don't repeat, if we make a big attack we will be feared, not only that but if we kill a lot of people, they will lose faith in the heroes. Attack. I wanna go. When they were preparing to go out Izuku managed to get on top of a name. There was fire everywhere, dead bodies, BLD, destruction. Izuku was seeing all of that, but he doesn't mind. You earn quite the F up head when you live with villains. I'm tall. Izuku. Get down here right now. Izuku. No, don't look. Close your eyes. Tomura, what is wrong with your son? The pro heroes looked over and were a small child on top of a name. All Might ran over and picked the child up from the name. Don't touch my son, you piece of... He looked at the child again. The kid looked clean, not what you would expect if you saw someone that was held captive. Not that Izuku was held captive anyway. Daddy, Daddy, save me. Save me. What does he mean? Shigaraki ran over with hand outstretched. All Might saw and moved to the side, dodging his hand. Child, who's your father? 𝗵𝗃 with the blue H hair. All Might look at the child shocked, questioning if he really was the villain's son, or he was brainwashed. He figured the second answer was right. Please don't take him away from us. You can take our base, our belongings, everything. Just please don't take Izuku away from us. He's the only good thing we have left. All Might look over at where that voice was coming from and found the League crying around Shigaraki. He looked between the child and them. I don't want to go. I want to stay with 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, Kurogiri, Dabi, Grandpa 1 and Daddy. I don't want them to be sad. All Might look over again and walk over. I will give you the child. If I find out you kidnapped and brainwashed him, I'll take him and never let you see him. They all looked up from the floor and stared at him shocked. Tomura ran over to All Might and took Izuku from his hands. This is the only time I'm saying this, but thank you, you piece of... I'm still going to put you all in jail for this. They're getting away. Now Shigaraki is pretty sure that the child is the literal devil. He made up his mind. He's getting in but whooping. It's morning right now and Kurogiri is cooking breakfast. Shigaraki, you didn't need to hit Izuku that hard. Yeah. He came to me crying. He may be a brat, but he's still a child, Ghost Beach. He needs to learn discipline. You gave him a scar. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃 did too. Yeah, but we have to respect everything he does. Are you saying that if he shoots and kills Izuku, it's alright? Shut up, Dabi. Izuku woke up and ran all the way down the stairs over to Shigaraki. Daddy. He jumped up to Shigaraki's lap and snuggled into his chest. Izuku. Get off his lap, Izuku. Come over here to Dabi. He got off his lap and ran over to Dabi. They ate breakfast and kept on with their day. It was night time and Toga went to put Izuku to bed. She was about to leave the room when Izuku called out to her. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗃. Yes, Izuku. I love you too, Izu. Izuku went to sleep peacefully, having sweet dreams about his small family. Izuku is soon going into preschool and the League wanted to go shopping. Although Dabi doesn't show it, he's excited to see Izuku to school. Not only that but also sees him wear a cute little uniform. Kurogiri warped everyone to the mall to go buy things for the child. They were running around going into stationery stores. Dabi, look how pretty this school bag looks. It's just plain red, Toga. I know. It's like the bag is soaked in the blood of my enemies. Hell yeah. Throw that bag in their psycho beach. While Toga and Dabi are over the bag section, Shigaraki is at the accessories section with Kurogiri. Kurogiri, look at these hair clips. They look adorable. Look at these bunny hair ties. That's adorable. All for One decided to tag along because he wanted to choose outfits for Izuku. Izuku, come here and try this on. No. It looks ugly. No, it doesn't. Just try it on for Grandpa 1, please. He is having trouble with buying clothes for the 3-year-old because Izuku for some reason is more interested in girl clothes. Grandpa, look at this pretty dress. Izuku, we're buying boy clothes, not girl ones, okay? But Daddy and Kurogiri are buying me girl stuff. What, why? Because they look cute. Fine, I'll admit bunny hair ties look cute. Really? Can I get the dress then? No. When All for One said that, Izuku crying. What? Gramps doesn't love me. What? I do love you. Fine, take the dress, take it. Yay. They all finished shopping and left the store to go buy video games for Dabi and Shigaraki. Hey chapped lips, look at this new game that just got out. It's not available for our console, Dabi. Yes, but we can buy the one it comes in. You mean steal? Yes. They went over to where the consoles are and grabbed the one the game operates on. Looking around making sure that no one was looking, they ran out the door of the store with the console and game, setting off the alarm. Run faster, you basic white beach. I'm not very athletic, as you can see, Dabi. They managed to run off without getting caught. Shigaraki, Dabi, what did you do? What did you mean? There are guards running all over the mall. Izuku-chan got scared and ran away. Wait, Izuku ran away. Yes. What if he got kidnapped or killed? Izuku must be 𝗧𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵𝗃. All for one got cut off by Dabi pushing by him and running off. Great, now we lost another one. Dabi was running around the mall looking for Izuku when he walked around a corner and saw some men around a child. Izuku, if you come with us, we'll help you find your daddy. Yeah, we know where he is. Now why don't you come with us? Dabi was about to run over and beat the men up when he heard Izuku start to talk. My family always say to never talk to ugly people, especially disgustingly ugly people. Say something like that again, you brat. Yeah. We're not ugly. They also say that if someone wants to take me to daddy, then they can go F themselves, but I'm not sure what that means. This brat. Oi, you think you can say things like that and get away with it? One of the guys was about to hit Izuku when Dabi ran over and pushed Izuku out of the way. Who are you? Dabi now stands back or I'll burn you. Heh, you think you scare us, huh? Another man ran over to Izuku with his fist raised ready to attack when he started turning into ashes. He screamed in agony and the group watched in horror as the man burned slowly while falling to the floor. Let's go, we're going to get killed. Yeah, let's run. Before they could even move from their spot, Dabi shot out a big burst of fire, creating them. Izuku, let's go, everyone is worried about you. Okay. Dabi put his hand out and took Izuku's small freckled hand in his own. When they got over to where the league was waiting, they all pounced on top of him and started crying tears of happiness, except for Kurogiri since he's missed, but if he could cry he would. Where were you? Don't ever scare us like that again. You almost gave me a heart attack, Izuku. Tomura ran over to Izuku with a very angry expression. Izuku Shigaraki, can you explain to me where the F you was at? I was in a dark corner and some men told me they were going to take me where you were. You're lucky you're cute. The league got to the bar holding bags full of school supplies and bags full of accessories and clothes. And he was like, pow, and then she was like, bam. What happened next, Izuku? The heroes won, but hey. At least they kicked butt. Izuku, where did you learn that? From Dabi. Oh God. They put the bags down and started sorting through them. They put Izuku in some outfits deemed cute and ate dinner. Afterwards, Shigaraki bathed Izuku and put him to sleep, joining him shortly after. Slight Uraraka, listen, don't tell me how much you don't like it. Not everything is going to be yaoi. I will add yaoi, just not now. Please be patient. Trust me, I absolutely love yaoi and I spent some time reading it, but I want to try and add variation. I hope you understand. Not everyone likes the same things you do. I'm getting annoyed because of everyone saying the same thing. It's my story, and I will add things I like. If you can't handle that fact, then you can leave or I'll discontinue it because more things like these are going to come. It was 4 a.m. right now. Why are they up so early, you ask? Well, today is the day that Izuku enters preschool and they wanted to make sure he had a big breakfast and got all his school supplies ready. Not to mention they wanted to take a lot of pictures of him in his uniform. Kurogiri is cooking breakfast, Toga is preparing his uniform and accessories, Dabi is making sure he has everything he needs in his backpack, and Tomura is taking pictures of Izuku in his sleep. That isn't really something school related, but he's doing it for the photo album. And the kid is cute. Okay. Anyways, all for one wanted to be there for his first day, but he had to attend business. I finished the food, someone goes wake up Izuku. I'll do it. Toga ran over to Shigaraki and Izuku's room and slammed the door open, startling Shigaraki. Izuku somehow managed to stay asleep. Toga, what the F? I came to wake up Izuku. Oh right. Izuku, wake up. Izuku jumped out of bed, slamming his head on the floor. Why did you wake me? You have school, Izuku, remember? Izuku groans and walks over to the bathroom. He's so cute. Cute. No, he's a brat. A cute brat. True. After Izuku finishes showering, he walks down the stairs in a cute bunny towel. Izuku hears your clothes. Dabi helps him put them on. Yes, sir. Dabi walks over to Izuku holding the uniform. He picks up Izuku and takes him over to his room to change. I don't like it. I don't care, put it on, but I don't like it. If you don't put it on, I'll tell Daddy. Fine. Izuku out on the uniform, which was really cute on him. Izuku was whining about it for no reason other than to be more of a brat than he already is, but that's not the point. Dabi went downstairs with Izuku following closely behind, making sure nobody can see him. See, Izuku, come out. No. Izuku, we aren't going to judge you, move from behind Dabi. Izuku groaned, moving from behind Dabi and allowing the small group to see him. Ah, come here. Toga called Izuku over and started doing his hair. She put him in a braid and held his bangs back with a bunny hair clip. It looks stupid. No, it doesn't. Auntie Toga spent time on it, be grateful. Here's your backpack. Thank you. Eat. What did you cook? Food, now eat it, Izuku. Why? To grow big and strong. But I'm already big and strong. You're a 3-year-old. Well, I'm a big and strong 3-year-old. Just eat the food. Izuku only ate half of the food because he kept on insisting that he's big and strong. But that's not part of the plot. What plot? Here's your school, Izuku. You'll be here from preschool to middle school, got it. Why? Because the school system is like that. But why? For education. Why do I need education? To be smart. But Daddy said I was already smart. You are, but you need to learn more. Why? Stop asking questions and go inside. Okay. Izuku went past the gate into the school. He looked back at Kurogiri and saw him waving. He waved back and kept walking. Eventually, he made it to his classroom and walked in. What? Various eyes turned to him. Oh, class, this is Izuku Shigaraki. Be nice to him. He looked around the room and saw a brown-haired girl looking at him with a look different to everyone else. Noticing a seat next to her, he walked over. Mind if I sit here? Not at all. Why is she giggling? Izuku sat down at the table and started paying attention to the teacher. 𝗬𝗃𝗁. Well, you're Shigaraki, right? Yeah. I gave you a nickname. Okay, what's your name? Ochako Uraraka. But call me Akakan. That's a pretty name. Thanks. Izuku isn't quite experienced with complimenting people, mostly because he was raised by villains. Mind you, they can be stupid and reckless while talking, allowing Izuku to pick up the way they talk. But he's a nice kid. When he's left alone, that is. The teacher was teaching something that Izuku found boring, so he stopped paying attention and took out a cookie from his bag and nibbled on it. Can you give me one? No, you need to lose weight, you're getting chubby. That's mean. Then don't take my food, I'll kill you. Mississippi 𝗧𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀 called me chubby. He also said he'll kill me. Shigaraki. Say sorry. No. Say it or time out. Sorry, better? Izuku kept on nibbling on his cookie. He glanced to the side and saw Uraraka looking at him intently. What do you want, weirdo? Give me one, please. No, Uraraka kept on asking for a cookie, annoying him to the point that you could see his eyes twitching. He eventually gave in. Fine, you can have a stupid cookie. Yay! Izuku stuck his hand into his bag and took out a cookie, giving it to the small girl with brown hair. Uraraka nibbled on the cookie, savoring the taste. Izuku shoved the cookie he was nibbling on in his mouth and chewed on it, swallowing after. Be careful, Shigaraki, you might choke. Izuku hummed as a response, ignoring the stares he was receiving from the other children. It was recess and there were children all over the big colorful room, some taking this as an opportunity to sleep, which was what Izuku was going to do, but he felt a small hand on his shoulder. He turned around and saw the annoying girl from earlier. The cookie snatcher. Let me tell you why he gave her the nickname, Is. While the teacher was showing them how to count, Uraraka kept on putting her hand inside his backpack, taking cookies and shoving them in her mouth before he could notice. Now Izuku was annoyed, more so because the cookies were made by the League, for him, not her. So why was she eating them? Anyways, The girl looked at him and asked if he wanted to talk, get to know each other more. Why would I want to talk with you? Because I want to be friends. No. Please. Fine, I'll talk with you. She led them over to a place on the floor that had pillows and blankets covering it, making the corner feel warm. They sat down and Uraraka asked the question that had been lingering in her mind for a while. How did you get that scar on your eye? My daddy hit me. Why did he hit you? He said I was a brat. Oh. Well, what's your favorite color? Pink. It's really pretty. I like pink too, though I prefer green. I really like your hair, it looks really soft, but aren't boys supposed to have short hair? Thank you, and I guess but I prefer it to be long, makes my family give me more hugs. I wish I had hair like yours. Mine is really short. It looks ugly, but you gave me compliments so I'll give you some as well. Thanks. It was time for them to leave and Izuku was waiting in the park bench waiting for Kurogiri to pick him up. He can't handle those kids for much longer. The boy that eats glue. The girl that eats boogers. That stupid piglet. He hates them all. And to think he has to spend 12 more years with all of them. God help this poor child. A purple and black mist like orb appeared in front of him and slowly started expanding, showing a 19-year-old with blue shaggy hair and chapped lips. Mon Izuku, we're going home. Izuku's hair bounced slightly as he ran up to his father, jumping in his arms. They entered the portal as it sealed behind them, leaving no traces behind. They made it to the bar and were met by happy looks from 𝗵𝗃𝗏, Toga and Dabi. Making sure not to grab him with all 5 fingers, Shigaraki took the kid and placed him down on the floor. How was your day, Izuku? Bad. Why? They are all disgusting, and there's this stupid girl that kept on snatching the cookies you all made me. Oh, did you make any friends? The stupid girl keeps on insisting that we are friends, even though we're not. Sounds like a crush. No, she's ugly. Did you insult anyone? Yeah, the girl. Geez, you act like a brat even at school. Kurogiri watched intently as the whole conversation was happening. He looked over at the stove and realized the food finished cooking. He called out to them and they ate the food, mouths watering at the taste. Kurogiri is an amazing cook. He really is. Yeah, this tastes so much better than fast food. They ate in silence, occasional comments made about Kurogiri's cooking. Shigaraki bathed Izuku and changed him out of his school clothes. The day went on and Izuku eventually went to sleep, leaving them all to play Monopoly alone. Inoue Principal Nezu is pacing back and forth in his office, trying to figure out how the man could have survived. All might finish him, he's supposed to be dead. 𝗵𝗃𝗏 was spotted, almost after 5 years. He's coming back. And he's not alone. Izuku has picked up some habits, some impressive, others plain out stupid. He giggles after everything he says something, it's creepy, but they give him the benefit of the doubt because he's a child. Nonetheless, it's still creepy. They like to blame Toga, saying that because of her psychotic but they are going to be raising a possible psychopath, but it could be just a phase. The giggling thing seems cute when used in innocent phrases like, that looks cute, or, I'm strong. But in creepy phrases, that's when they question the poor kid's sanity. Examples are, the big man says hello, or, look at how the red flows from the arm. Where did the child learn that? Easy answer. Bad parenting. Not necessarily parenting, adding the fact that he was raised by everyone, but you get the point. But the truth is he picked it up from Ochako. Since for some reason, totally not because she has a crush on him, she giggles after saying something to him, he felt like he was being left out for some reason because of the fact, so he started to do it too. Another thing he picked up is skipping, totally because of Toga, that's obvious. Instead of walking like any normal person would, he skips. It's not that bothersome at first, but it gets annoying later on. Whatever chance he gets he skips. That's just adding to the list of why Shigaraki calls the child a brat. Not that Izuku minds because he states, if daddy says it, it's not bad because daddy loves me and would never insult. Gullible child really. A habit that works well for the League, but needs work is Izuku's love for analyzing not just heroes, but villains too. But as mentioned, this ability comes with a feature that needs work. Muttering. When he's analyzing he tends to mutter, which of course, is annoying. Think of it as a quirk and it's a drawback. For example, Shigaraki's quirk, he can decay anything if touched with all 5 fingers, but if overused he suffers from dry skin. They went to a quirk specialist already and confirmed that no, it's not his quirk, just that he acquired an amazing ability. When Izuku grows up they can assign him to investigate hero quirks so they can have a higher chance at winning against them. He can also learn villain quirks too so that they can wipe out the competition. But Izuku learning new things always makes the league smile, and Izuku likes to see them happy, so he now has a motto that states, "It's not a bad thing to learn new things if by doing it you make other people proud, then I'll learn more if it makes people like me." Quite the words for a 3-year-old. Their hearts ache whenever Izuku does something, doesn't matter what it is, they will always find it cute. He could be eating innocently and they would still find it cute. But Izuku likes it when they give him attention, so he keeps on doing whatever it is that makes them get all over him. Izuku also gets mistaken as a girl for his long hair, but he doesn't care what anybody else thinks, he has no reason to. Even though it can get a little irritating if it keeps on happening over and over again. One more thing about Izuku is that he's sarcastic, which is annoying if you want to be able to have a normal conversation with him. Either way, Izuku is one adorable unique boy. Also an annoying brat, words of Shigaraki, of course. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗵𝗃 Izuku leveled up to level 4 boys. Oh, he also gets his quirk. It's Izuku's birthday and the league decorated the bar to make it look a little better, not to mention it looked very rundown. Another thing is that they celebrate Christmas and the anniversary for the day Tomura found Izuku. Really exciting. It had balloons, Christmas lights, a cake on a table, candles, tiny trees, everything you can think of Christmas and birthday related, it's there. Finally, a big tree in the corner of the bar emitting a musky but slightly sweet scent, tall but a height short enough to not touch the roof and decorated with so many different accessories you can't even see the leaves. Izuku was excited to see what his quirk would be. If he gets a quirk powerful enough, Sensei might even let him join in one of the missions. He doesn't know exactly what the missions are, but every time they have to go they look a bit excited. It's not fair that they get to have fun while he has to stay in his room because for some reason he can't leave other than to go to the main area. Either way, the small group is listening to music and dancing. Izuku sees this and thinks, if they are dancing then I should dance too, and he does. Oh boy, he does. When he started dancing he kept on tripping, throwing things on the floor and pushing. Izuku stopped that. I'm just dancing. You keep pushing and throwing things, Izuku. Izuku, baby, be more careful. I am being careful. You just keep getting in my way. At least try not to tip things over. Come here. Sighing, Dabi picked up the child and placed him on his shoulders, securing him so that he doesn't fall. I'm tall. This reminds me of the name incident. Everyone thinks in unison, sweat dropping at the memory. They eventually get out of their trance and continue with what they were doing. Dabi was twirling around with Izuku on his shoulders. With a smile as bright as the sun, Izuku announced that he wanted to eat cake and open the presents, to which Kurogiri responded saying that he has to wait a few more hours because of tradition, but Izuku kept on insisting. Eventually Kurogiri gave in and rounded up the other 4 to sing Izuku happy birthday, then to open presents. Look at me, Izuku. Look over here to Daddy, Izuku. No, look over here, look at the camera, Izuku. Izuku, look over here please. Can't you just take turns? Izuku is getting really nervous. They look over to Izuku and see him shaking, looking as if he's going to cry. Sorry. They follow with Kurogiri's idea and take turns flashing the camera on his face. The pictures turned out adorable, to say the least. Now to open the presents. Hectic. Move your butt, Dabi. How about you move your butt? Stop fighting, dumbass. Give me my gifts. I'm the one that gets to open my presents first. What makes you say that, brat? It's my birthday. Well, I want my gifts, so you need to wait for you little dash. Tomura starts saying but gets cut off by Kurogiri. He has a point, Tomura. Shigaraki grumbles but gives in anyway. Everybody calm down. Upon hearing All for One's voice, all 4 calm down, shaken upon hearing him yell. I get it, you all want to see your gifts, but you need to calm down. Let little Izuku open his gifts first. They move, losers. It's my turn to open them. Don't call me a loser, you piece of dash. Shut up, Dabi. Geez, you act like Shigaraki sometimes, I swear. Dabi grumbles but complies and shuts his mouth. Izuku runs over to the tree and picks up every box with his name on them. There were a lot of gifts addressed to him. One spoiled boy. He opens one from Toga and finds a cute bunny onesie and a pair of black combat boots with dark red on the edges. Thank you, Auntie Toga. Izuku goes over to Toga and hugs her, giving her a peck on the cheek too. You're welcome, Izuku. He walks back to the place he was seated on before and opens another gift, this time one from Kurogiri. Inside was a small suit, matching with the one Kurogiri wears. In another one from him was a pair of small dress shoes. Thanks, Kurokuro. You're welcome, Izuku. Kurogiri thanks him, yellow eyes crinkling upwards signifying a smile. Izuku then opened the gift from Shigaraki and found a tablet and a pair of gloves with kitty paws on the bottom. Thank you, Daddy. You're welcome, now give me a hug, brat. Izuku went over to Shigaraki and hugged him tightly. Shigaraki hugged back and squeezed with the same force as Izuku, making sure not to decay him in the process. They let go and Izuku returns to his spot and kept opening gifts, hugging and giving thank yous. He also made sure to give Kurogiri a big hug since he forgot to. It's been a month since Izuku's birthday and he is yet to unlock his quirk, but he has to be patient or else it's never going to come, at least that is what Grandpa One tells him. When am I getting my quirk? You need to wait for it to come to Izuku. But I'm already sick of waiting. He stood up and started walking over to the stairs when suddenly he falls over, clutching his arm in pain. Izuku, are you all right? Izuku. Izuku feels tears well up in his eyes and blinks them away before they can fall. Shigaraki stands up to go over to Izuku when blue lightning-like pattern appears on Izuku's arm and slowly disappears, a scythe blade replacing his arm. The pain starts to fade and Izuku opens his eyes. Glancing to the side, he finds a scythe blade. Wow. Look, I got my quirk. Izuku, be careful. Izuku starts to swing his arm around, slashing the floor and part of the wall. Izuku, stop that. Izuku stops and stands in place with an excited expression on his face. His quirk is perfect for killing. Imagine all the BLD that will flow out of a wound from it. Toga says, an insane expression on her face. Toga, shut up, you will influence the kid. He's already crazy, Dabi. Izuku tries to get rid of the blade and he succeeds. When the blade left, it showed the same pattern it did when it showed up. Can you try to make something, Izuku? He nods and concentrates on making a dagger. He opened his eyes and saw the same pattern, but when it left, it revealed a small dagger. But this quirk is a very powerful one, Sensei. He nods. Yes, a very powerful quirk indeed. Izuku is now 13 years old and Toga has been grooming, as Shigaraki likes to say, Izuku to be a serial killer. She has been teaching Izuku how to use his quirk, but she mostly stays focused on the scythe and the knives, saying that they would be perfect for cutting someone. It wasn't half and making them bleed. Izuku is quite experienced in using knives thanks to Toga. He also knows self-defense thanks to Dabi, who teaches him because he said that if they disarm him, or his quirk is useless, he can at least defend himself. In the time Toga has been grooming Izuku, he picked up some of her traits, such as acting crazy whenever he sees BLD and giggling madly. That just adds to the list of why Izuku is a possible psychopath. He hasn't gotten out of his skipping and giggling phase either, which just gives them more proof of why they think that. But they appreciate that fact. It relieves them of the thought of him turning over to the hero side, which would be horrible, mind you. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 has hit Izuku like a truck, and in a good way at that, a really good way. He developed a feminine build, one that Toga often compares to her own. Slim waist, wide hips, thick thighs and a nice and round bottom. He often gets mistaken as a girl, and his long hair doesn't help with that problem. It makes him stand out and make eyes turn to him, especially those of disgusting old men. Izuku doesn't like attention. He would rather stay in his corner and sulk about how Uraraka keeps on pestering him to be her boyfriend. Thank you very much. Plus, he doesn't need it, or do I? He has to kick a lot of butt on a daily basis with how much men grope him and his classmates tease him about his body. It makes him mad, and you would not like it when Izuku is mad. Right now Izuku is preparing himself for another day of hell. classmates looking at him with lustful eyes and scared gazes, and a clingy Uraraka. Oh god, does he hate that place. He puts on a light blue sweater with the school logo on the top left, a pair of black skinny jeans and black steel-toed combat boots. Tying his hair into a high ponytail and picking up his backpack, he walked down the stairs over to the bar where Kurogiri is cleaning glasses and the other three are lounging on the stools. Good morning, Izuku. 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗧𝗵𝗃𝗲. He mumbles out, slightly groggy. Morning little SHT, come here. Izuku slowly makes his way over to Shigaraki, said man pulls Izuku into a hug and releases him about 10 seconds later. Izuku and I want a hug too. Izuku makes his way over to the blonde, she pulls him into a tight hug, almost suffocating him if it wasn't for Dabi pulling him away from her grasp. Dabi brought him close and gave him a hug, letting him go quickly. The greenette hopped on top of a stool and began to eat his breakfast. After eating, he walked over to the door and left, but not before yelling out to them. Goodbye, you pieces of SHT. Not you though, Giri, you're alright. He ran away, avoiding a fuming Shigaraki. He was walking on the sidewalk, hips swaying and a slight skip to his step. Izuku hoped this day would be normal, but good luck is never on his side. He can just hope. He made it to the gate of the big, slightly run-down building. He walked forward towards it, but before he could even take his fifth step, a heavy weight landed on his back. Pushing to the floor whatever landed on his back, he looked down and saw the person he was hoping to avoid, Uraraka. Ow, why did you push me off, babe? For the love of God, how many times do I have to tell you to stop calling me that? I never was your babe and never will be. Oh, just admit that you love me. You don't have to be embarrassed. I don't love you. Stop being so stubborn and just accept it. You are so in denial, babe. Me. You're the one that's in denial, crazy beach. He giggled slightly, amused at her words. I'm your beach baby. Izuku looked at her with a look of amusement and irritation and sprinted over to the building, getting away from the girl. Damn that butt, she thought, before running off to catch up to him. The teacher is teaching something about BLD types and Izuku is trying not to lose his composure. He keeps fidgeting and putting a hand on his mouth. It looks very weird to the people looking, but he's trying to not freak anyone out, at least he's thinking about other people. Shigaraki, do you need to go to the bathroom? He nodded quickly. The teacher allowed him to go. He looked like he was having an existential crisis. He dashed out the door and over to the bathroom. He splashed water on his face and watched as water dripped from his petite hands. He giggled once more. Oh God, it would be horrible if I did that in front of everyone, he said to himself, cupping his chubby cheeks. He walked out the door and made his way back to the classroom. Izuku was sitting peacefully at his desk when he felt a tap on his shoulder. He looked over and saw Uraraka smiling at him, holding 2 boxes of bento. Wanna eat with me? She asked excitedly. No, every time you eat that you get fat. I don't want to be fat. I'm not fat. Yes you are, stop denying it. I'll stop denying it when you stop denying that you are my boyfriend. That's because I'm not. Oh, I already planned our wedding. Why did you plan a wedding? Because we are getting married once we become pro-heroes. And remind me exactly when I agreed to this. Well, I don't need confirmation, I already know that you'll like it. No, get away from me. He made a dagger and held it up to her neck threateningly. She quickly ran away. It's the end of the day and Izuku is making his way back to the bar. His walk was interrupted by someone pulling him into an alleyway. He landed on the floor and looked up to be met with BLD red eyes. Listen here, Beach, you have been getting on my nerves lately. Pardon? I have never, ever seen you in my life, so you may have the wrong person, you stupid blonde. What did you call me, you pretty ugly piece of... Whoa buddy, I'm a guy, but thanks for calling me pretty, Izuku giggled, making the blonde twitch in anger. You're a guy. Yes. Now I have to go to get your fat butt off of me, please. Teach. He looked down and found out that he did have him pinned down. He got off of Izuku and ran away, red in the face. What the F? Izuku continued to make his way to the bar, questioning what just happened. Izuku, you're going to you. What? Why? Because if you go there we will be able to gain information. We can also kill All Might. And what exactly does Yue have to do with All Might? He's teaching there. Oh yeah, because I'm going to just spend my time training to be a hero just for my sweet grandfather. No, I hate heroes and everything that has to do with them. Izu, you're the only person here that can go to Yue. Can't one of you just sneak in? It will be much more convenient if you go. What do I get out of this? Kidnap people and you can do anything to them. Okay. Izuku giggled and instantly agreed once hearing what 𝗵𝘃𝗲 said, proving that their suspicions were right. Izuku is officially a psychopath. All for one side at the small teen's enthusiasm. Well, the entrance exams for UA are in 10 months, so you need to train if you want to make me proud. I'll make sure to get in. Oh, I can already hear the screams of the people as I torture them. He giggled insanely, grinning unnaturally wide. Toga, what have you done? Oh, shut up, it wasn't me. Izuku ran over to his room excitedly, joy fading slightly when he remembered he had to go. Izuku was silently sitting at his desk waiting for the teacher to pass him the stupid career choice paper. He did not want to go to UA, but he did not have a choice. If he had one, he would probably just drop out. Izuku is going to be a villain anyway, so what did he need education for? Now, right in his face was the sheet of paper that was possibly going to ruin his teenage years. He was debating if he should write down UA or not. Yes, he had 10 months and that was plenty of time to change it if he wished, but Izuku did not want another beating, thank you very much. It's not that his dad is abusive, no, that's definitely not the case, but he tended to go a bit overboard when training. He makes training more difficult if Izuku was to disobey to anything he's asked to do. Shigaraki loves him very much and would do anything for Izuku if something was to happen to him. He is just a bit of a man-child and bipolar. Izuku finally sucked it up and decided to just write it down. The teacher picked up the papers and kept his gaze on Izuku for 2 seconds and kept on picking up the papers. The teacher was saying something that Izuku did not care about enough to pay attention to, but his head snapped up when he heard his name being called out. Shigaraki, you are aiming for Yue. Everyone was murmuring, questioning his decision. You want to be a hero. You can only turn into weapons. If you try to attack, you'll instantly kill the enemy. Your quirk only works for villainy. Don't try to aim for the impossible. Who asked for your opinion? At least I'm aiming for something big and I have a quirk to go with my decision. All you can do is change your hair color. Teach. On the outside, Izuku looked like he was calm, but on the inside, he was raging. He wanted to slice that guy's head off and use it to go bowling. Uraraka, you're going to aim for UA too. Yep. And I'm even more excited since Izuku is going too. Izuku slammed his head on the desk. He didn't even want to go to UA, and now that he found out that the piglet is going there too, he is starting to think that maybe torturing people is not worth it. It's not that he hated Ochako. Well, he did, but that's not the point right now. It's just that she's too clingy. Yes, she's very appealing, but Izuku would rather date one of the stupid rats that are infesting his house than date her. Aren't you excited for me, 𝗵𝘃𝗃𝗏? For the love of God, don't call me that stupid name again. But are you excited? We will be able to be together. No. Ugh. Izuku is starting to think that maybe he's not the only mentally unstable person in the room. Izuku was walking home from school contemplating his actions. Should he really go to UA or should he just suffer from one Shigaraki's beatings? He was walking under a tunnel and a disgusting smell reached his nose. Oh, looky here, an adorable meat shield. You'll stand out, but you'll do. Izuku looked behind him and saw slime moving rapidly toward him. He turned his arm into a blade and slashed at the slime. It did not affect it at all. It reformed quickly. 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗏. He focused on the slime and saw a pair of eyes. It was the only body part visible through the slime. Izuku jumped up and aimed at his eyes. The blade got stuck on his left eye. Izuku attempted to stick another blade in his eye when a strong gust of wind knocked him back, causing him to fall on the ground and black out. Izuku woke up to the feeling of being repeatedly slapped on the face. Can you stop that? My boy, I thought for a second there that I lost you. Are you alright? Yeah, fine and dandy, because I definitely didn't just fall off a stupid monster and hit my head. Well, I am glad you're okay, citizen. I must go now, farewell. That was sarcasm, you dash, forget it. I'm leaving. If I have a concussion, it's your fault. All Might leapt on the air and left. Izuku noticed a bottle on the floor and picked it up. So he forgot to pick up the villain. He really is stupid. Hee-hee-ha, oh I wonder what would happen if I let them out. Izuku uncapped the bottle and ran away. He did not want to get caught by the villain again. Izuku was walking to the bar and heard the sound of explosions and people screaming. That must be the sludge monster, oh I wonder if he caught someone. Izuku made his way to where the commotion was coming from. Once he was there he pushed through the crowd, trying to see what was happening. What's happening? A villain caught a kid. The heroes aren't doing anything to stop the villain either. Izuku moved closer and saw that indeed the villain had someone captured. It was a kid with blonde hair. He appeared to be a middle schooler. Izuku looked around and saw that the heroes weren't doing anything. Wasn't All Might close? Why isn't he here? Izuku met eyes with the blonde. His red eyes were begging for help. It made his stomach turn at how much pain the eyes had in them. The green-eat is crazy. To be honest, he would not have ran at the villain if it weren't for his anger towards the heroes. Izuku stopped in front of the villain, backing up slowly. Here again you brat. Izuku ignored him and jumped up, turning his leg into a scythe blade mid-air. He aimed a kick at the villain's other eye. Twisting his leg he pulled his eye out. The villain screamed. Izuku couldn't hold the giggle that made its way out of his throat. You brat, now I can't sing. Izuku grabbed the boy's hand, dragging him out of the slime. The blonde started gasping for breath. Izuku turned his leg back to normal, grabbed him and ran away before the villain could hit him. The slime man passed out due to blood loss. The green-eat placed the blonde on the floor. Kid, that was dangerous. Do you know how badly injured you could have gotten? Well, did you do anything? I did your job for you. Let me pass, my dad will get cranky again. The heroes shut up after the first statement. They knew the kid was right. Pushing through the crowd, Izuku headed towards the bar. All he wanted was to throw himself onto his bed and sleep on his problems. Izuku was calmly walking when a giant man yelled at him, startling the petite boy. I am here. Izuku looked at him with an annoyed expression. He rolled his eyes and attempted to walk away. Young man, wait a moment, please. What do you want from me? I come here to offer you my power. Come again. Young man, you saved that kid and jumped right into danger when none of the heroes were doing anything. You didn't stop and think about what could have happened to you, only thinking about saving him. You were there the whole time. Yes, but let me talk. You were there the whole time and just watched as he was dying. You could have easily blasted the slime villain away, but you chose to stay there watching. I know what I did was wrong, but hear me out. Fine. Thank you, young man. I obtained an injury 5 years ago from a fight with a villain. Because of the fight, I can only fight crime for about 3 hours a day. Every day the time keeps decreasing. All Might then proceeded to show Izuku his scar, unaware that the kid was making up different ways to kill him with the information. Why exactly are you telling me this? Because I want to give you my power. I need a successor for it since I'm slowly running out of time. This power was passed on for generations like a torch, and I want to pass that torch on to you. So what do you say, young one? Will you accept my power? No. I will not accept your power. You barely know me, yet you decide to give me this power and tell me all this information. For all you know, I can be a villain and you just sold out your secret to ending your hero career. But you aren't a villain, are you? I don't know. Why don't you actually take the time to know me and find out? Izuku passed by the hero, leaving him dumbfounded. All Might turned into his weak form once he saw the bush of green hair leave his vision. He sighed and walked towards his apartment, thinking about the kid's words. Life has gone to SHT, and Izuku will gladly admit that. What happened, you may ask? The bar is being raided by pro-heroes. It's not just the bar, it's the whole hideout. Now they are running for their lives and being careful not to be caught by the pro-heroes. They don't plan on going to jail anytime soon. Kurogiri, make a portal. I can't right now. Can't you see that I'm running, Tomura? Ugh, you're so useless. Toga groaned upon hearing the small discussion. Why on earth did they choose to do that now? Shut up, both of you. Can't you see that we are trying not to get caught by the heroes? Don't be dumbass. Izuku is trying to run faster, but with his short legs he might as well be considered left baying. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 short legs. Dabi looked behind him and saw Izuku struggling. He tried to hold back a laugh, but it came out. Good thing Izuku was far so he couldn't hear it. The scarred man ran over to Izuku and picked him up, giving him a piggyback ride. Let go of me, 𝗳𝗪𝗢𝗍. And let you be caught by the heroes. No can do, 𝗳𝗪𝗍𝗪. Izuku shut his mouth when he realized that if he got put down he would, in fact, get caught by the heroes. Also because it was rather comfortable up on his back. The heroes seemed to be getting closer and Izuku was starting to panic. Unconsciously, he started mumbling his thoughts. What if we get caught? What if we die? What if Dad dies? What if Auntie dies? What if Uncle dies? What if Grandpa one gets put in prison? What if Kurogiri gets caught? What if dash? Izuku, calm down, we're almost at where we need to go, none of that will happen. Izuku looked down and sighed, feeling his unease disappear slightly. They could hear the pros shouting at them but they ignored it in favor of running away. A rock hit Kurogiri's neck piece, almost making it fall off. They looked at him shocked when suddenly, they were all being hit by rocks. Damn it, I think it's someone's quirk. Shigaraki was disintegrating the rocks flying at him, Kurogiri was making small portals, Dabi was cremating them and Toga was dodging. Izuku looked behind him and saw the hero who was making the rocks. Chains sprouted from Izuku's hands and made their way towards the hero, wrapping around the pro's body. Izuku yanked the chains and flung the man to the wall, knocking him out. Rocks stopped flying at them. Plus, while the pros ran over to the man to see if he was alright, Kurogiri took time to recover enough energy to make a portal. Plus, hey Mist Man. We're already close to the other base, what the F are you making a portal for? Dabi let him, I can't run for much longer, my legs are killing me. We're going to get caught if do it Misty F. Kuru, stop that. I'm not doing it for the three of you, I'm doing it for Izuku. Izuku got off Dabi's back and started walking over to Kurogiri when a portal appeared behind him. What if you guys get caught? F it if we get caught, get in there fast, the hideout is close, we can make it. Izuku hesitated a bit, he then complied, jumping in the portal. Izuku landed on a cold floor, looking up he saw a tall wooden roof. The place smelt of honey and ashes, weird combination. Looking around, he spotted a fireplace and a few lit candles. The place looked slightly run down, but nice nonetheless. Kinda surprising, he thought it would be an ugly cave or something, not exactly a cave but something else. Izuku also spotted a few brown couches and a big door to the left. Izuku got up and walked over to the dark wooden doors, he grabbed the handle and pushed. Inside was a large wooden table with matching chairs around it, a large TV with speakers on the side and a set of stairs. What the F? This place looks hella nice. This definitely not what I was expecting, where are all the cobwebs and dust? Izuku had an uneasy look plastered on his face, he was not liking this. He walked over to the stairs and made his way up, they were making a creaking sound. He was met with a long and wide hallway filled with many doors. At the end of the hallway was a large painting. Izuku walked over and observed the painting, it was of all for one, at least that's what it appeared to be. He walked over to the first door in the hallway. He gripped the cold handle in his hand and pushed. It was a bedroom, there was a bed in the corner. The bed had umber-colored sheets going from dark blue to light blue, 5 white pillows neatly stacked on the headboard and a white fluffy blanket. There was a dark blue carpet on the floor and a desk in the other corner of the room. There were no windows inside. A small bookshelf was placed next to the door. The room was quite plain, not much decoration other than a few plants. Izuku exited the room and made his way to another door. He was about to push the door open when he heard the sound of a door opening and closing harshly. They're probably here. Exited, Izuku skipped towards the stairs when he spotted a white metal lab door. Izuku looked at it curiously and opened it. The room was filled with torture machines and screams of agony made their way towards Izuku's ears. Izuku giggled and blushed upon hearing them, he skipped excitedly towards the machines touching and smelling them. He rubbed his legs together and blushed darker, making his freckles stand out. He made his way out of the room and ran downstairs to greet the group. Once he arrived he went up to Shigaraki and trapped him in a tight hug, almost suffocating him. You're going to kill me. Izuku let go of him and flashed a smile at the group. I thought this place was going to look horrible and run down. It's pretty nice actually. I'm glad you like it. It's my grandmother's old house. I renovated it. Huh. Izuku. Izuku jumped when he heard his name being called out. He looked behind him and saw All for One running at him at full speed. The man tackled him and almost crushed him to death. Izuku, are you okay? Did they hurt you? Are you hungry? Are you tired? I'll tuck you in a bed. I missed you. Do you dash? I'm okay, I missed you too. Can you let go of me? I'm kinda dying here. All for One let go of him, pinching and kissing his cheek. Toga gave him a hug and kissed him on the forehead. Dabi ruffled his hair. You worried me, little man. I'm not that small. Sure, let's go with that. Kurogiri pat his head and smiled fondly at him. At least that's what he appeared to do by the crinkling of his eyes. Shigaraki gave his a hug and pouted. He enjoyed it, but it's not like he's going to admit that. Izuku stuck his hands into the pockets of his gray sweatpants and sat down on one of the couches. He closed his eyes and felt the darkness creeping up on him. Kurogiri took a gray fluffy blanket and placed it on top of Izuku. Shigaraki lifted up his head and placed a pillow, Izuku snuggling up to it. Toga just took a picture, obviously. Dabi undid Izuku's ponytail and let his green hair spread out on the pillow and blanket. All for One was going crazy at how cute Izuku looked. Izuku woke up in a couch surrounded by blankets and pillows. His hair was messy and all over it. Something was different. He doesn't remember this place being at the bar. Izuku looked around and saw a lit fireplace emitting bright yellow and orange flames. Looking around some more, he saw two large black couches and a wooden coffee table. On the ceiling was a big chandelier with white candles around it. What the hell is this place? Izuku had a confused look on his face. Where was he and how did he end up here? He grabbed his long hair and tied it up in a loose bun with one of the RBB bands adorning his wrist. Two thin pieces of green hair that managed to escape the bun were hanging on either side of his face, highlighting his round cheeks. He ripped the covers from his body and got up, almost tripping over the blanket on the floor. The white tank top covering Izuku's chest exposed his freckled shoulders to the cold coming from the long air conditioner mounted on the wall. Where the F am I? Izuku yelled, hoping that at least somebody heard him so that they can explain where he was. It seemed that somebody did hear him because the second he opened his mouth to yell even more, he heard rushed footsteps coming down the stairs. Why are you yelling? I'm not yelling. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Shut up. Who are you telling to shut up, you annoying brat? Come here. Shigaraki stomped over to Izuku with his fist clenched ready to punch him. Izuku doing the same. Let's not hit each other, Toga said, separating the father and son. They grumbled. They weren't even going to do anything bad. Sure, they probably would have broken a bone or two, but All for One could have easily healed him with one of his many quirks. Izuku looked over at Toga and asked the question that has been lingering on his mind ever since he woke up. Were we anyways? The blonde looked at him questioningly and tilted her head. You don't remember? Izuku shook his head, furrowing his brows. No, I remember. I'm just asking for no reason because I want to waste valuable oxygen and die. What do you think? Geez, no need to get salty. But honestly, do you not remember? No. Izuku whined pathetically. Did she not understand? Dabi pushed Toga out of the way. She was starting to annoy the scared man. Hey, Broccoli, at least try to remember what happened. You're forcing Blondie's stupid brain to think. You already know she can't do that properly. Hey, I'm not that dumb. You just admitted that you're dumb. Tuning them out, Izuku started to try and remember. Then all the memories of what happened hit him like a truck. From when the heroes broke in to when he fell asleep on the couch. The sentimental part of him that he tried to hide away came out, along with salty tears. Seeing the state he was in, Toga embraced him and twirled the strands of hair on the sides of his face. Shoo, don't cry, we're okay now. Toga cooed. Izuku hated it when they babied him, but he needed that right now. All for One ran down the stairs, his raven black hair flying back because of the wind created from his speed. My grandpa senses are tingling. Where's Izuku? Kurogiri followed behind the gray-eyed man, worry being shown by the way he played with his black tie. Dabi walked to Izuku and Toga. He embraced the both of them, although a bit hesitant to do it. Shigaraki immediately hugged them, not even caring about Dabi being there. "Stop crying, Izuku." Izuku was surprised at the use of his name. No brat, no pipsqueak, there wasn't any mock in his words. Did he hear right? All for one ran over with Kurogiri in his arms and embraced all of them with his large arms. Izuku managed to calm down. Snot was coming out of his nose and hiccups exited his throat every couple of seconds. "Are you calm now, Izuchan?" Toga said, handing him a tissue to blow his nose. He nodded, taking the tissue offered to him. Kurogiri left to go get a glass of water for Izuku. "I miss that place, it's my entire childhood." He wore a solemn look. All for one didn't like that. "Hey, smile a bit. Be grateful that we're not dead." He grabbed the sides of Izuku's mouth and stretched them, making it look like he was grinning. Kurogiri came back with a glass of ice-cold water and gave it to the greenette. Izuku grabbed the glass and chugged down the water. Refreshing. "Go to the kitchen, I made pancakes." They were seated in the stools at the counter, the aroma of food filling their noses. They were about to dig in when Kurogiri said something. "Not so fast, what do you say before you eat?" "Iridakimasu," they said in unison. "Good, you can start eating now." They immediately started stuffing their mouths with the fluffy buttermilk pancakes. Izuku asked a question out of nowhere that made their heads turn to misty yaoi. "Kurogiri, how exactly do you eat?" You wouldn't want to know. If you noticed, I changed all for one from an uncle to a grandfather since it would make more sense. A quick question, would you prefer daily chapters, but they're short or longer chapters, but slow updates?